been a little bit, but we're back. And this week we've got annuals, silent issues, new arcs, new series, and franchise crossovers. So let's get to it. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about only good comics. I'm Brant, and this is Friday First. This is that series where we talk about those brand new number one issues, new character debuts, new story arcs, and the like. And this is for books that are coming out on April 8th, 2026, second week of April. And yeah, we got some interesting books to talk about. So we're not going to waste too much time. I do want to once again apologize for the past couple of weeks. I was out of town one week, forgot to pack my microphone, and then the next week my aunt passed away. So it wasn't the right time for me to jump back in and do a video at that time. But yeah, so we're back now though, and we've got some books to talk about. Comics are fun. Before I get into this week's tops, since I haven't been with you in a bit and I haven't talked about some first issues, I can briefly talk about a few of the first issues that I've read this week. I will say that I have not read Daredevil yet. I'm saving that for last. I did read Captain Marvel, was it Dark Past or something like that? That was actually a pretty decent issue. I was impressed by that one. I was happy that it was such a good read for me, so I enjoyed that one. I'm trying to remember what other first issues came out this week. Wonder Man was okay. I wanted a little bit more from it. It was very exposition heavy. Let's see what else we got. The Royals from Image Comics. It was two telepath twin brothers that kind of cheat at gambling in casinos that way, and used to be MMA fighters. I guess they read their opponent's moves or something like that. I thought it was fun. It was decent. I like the art style. I felt like it was missing something for me, but hopefully it'll get stronger as the issues go on. But it was a fun read. I'm blanking on some of the other first issues that came out this week. But anyway, Daredevil's the big one. I haven't read it yet, so I can't really talk about that, but I just wanted to share a few thoughts on that. But with that said, no further ado, let's get into a couple of honorable mentions before we jump into our top 10 this week. All right, our first honorable mention comes from Image Comics Skybound. This is Transformers issue number 31. Not technically a first, that's why it's an honorable mention, but this does reveal the secret of Megatron I'm assuming when he was captured by Cobra Commander and the experiments done on him, and why he's kind of going off the rails now. So we're going to find out what exactly happened and why no one in the Energon universe is safe. Fantastic series. Every single issue is a phenomenal read, whether it was Daniel Warren Johnson or Robert Kirkman. I've been enjoying this series from start to the present, and I cannot wait to find out what the secret actually is. Next honorable mention goes to Uncanny X-Men issue number 26. This is the start of a brand new story arc. The reason I didn't put this one in the top 10 list is just because I haven't been enjoying Uncanny X-Men as well. I'm hoping this will pick up. This is the first part of Who's Been Sleeping in My Bed. Continues to be written by Gail Simone. Ties into Haven House, but it does say there's a shocking ending that could change X lore forever, and it urges X fans to not miss the story. So I'm very curious as to what this could be, but I'm going to temper my expectations a little bit just because of my enjoyment or whatever of recent issues of Uncanny X-Men. So, but that's all the honorable mentions. So let's get into those top 10 first for April 8th. Coming in at number 10 is Speed Racer Tales from the Road High Speed Noon issue number 1. Now, I have not been keeping up with the quarterly series. I do read Speed Racer and Racer X. I have not been reading these, but this one sounds kind of interesting. You've got this snake oiler character who blames Speed Racer for his loss in a race. Now he's in the desert with this Mad Max type character, and they're going to have a high noon standoff. Plus, you have a mystery story backup with Spritle and Chim Chim, which I think could be fun. So, yeah, I love most of the stuff in the Speed Racer vein from Mad Cave, so I'm going to try this one out as well, and that's why this one comes in at number 10. Coming in at number 9 from Mad Cave is Pretty Hate Machine issue number 1. This is written by Tim Seeley with art by Ryan I'm sorry, written by Tim Seeley and Ryan Onan with art by Paolo Armatano. And this is a horror book, which is why it's a little bit lower on the countdown for me, because it's not really my genre. But this character, his father was killed in a freak accident. His mother is taking refuge with his uncle. Then there's this ghoulish kid named Luther who's got knives for hands like Edward Scissorhands, and he has got like shark teeth or something. And he tells him that his father was murdered. It wasn't an accident, and that his his mom and his uncle are lying to him not to believe anything they say. So now he's got to figure out, is this weird creature with all these teeth and blades for hands lying to him, or is everyone else in his life been lying to him his whole life? So kind of an interesting concept, definitely in the horror genre, which is Tim Seeley's kind of pocket. So but it sounded pretty interesting, and Matt Gabe puts out a lot of cool stuff. So that's why Pretty Hate Machine comes in at number 9. Coming in at number 8, going back to Uncanny X-Men, we have the Uncanny X-Men Annual issue number 1, written by Gail Simone and Miki Kindle, with art by Francesco Moratrino. This is 32 pages for $4.99. And it's from the pages of the Dark Artery, which, if you've been reading Uncanny X-Men, you know that ties into this whole kind of underworld kind of place that's in that vicinity of the Haven House and everything. And now there's this group called the Regulators, who are a turn of the century mutants who used to live at Haven House. And we're going to see what secret connection they have to Wolverine in this story. Again, I've been a little kind of hot and cold with Uncanny X-Men, but we'll see what this one has to offer. And that's why this one comes in at number 8. Coming in at number 7 is Web of Venom issue number 1. This is written by Jordan Morris from Good Mythical Morning fame, and art by Luke Ross and Ramon Rosanas. And this is, as it says right there, the even newer Venom. This is Eddie Parker. He debuted in a backup story in Venom a while back, not that long ago, and he's kind of this alternate universe character that has come over to the 616. He is a version of kind of amalgamation of Eddie Brock and Peter Parker. So he's Eddie Parker. And so that's kind of interesting. He's also wearing the red and blue suit that Mary Jane kind of donned for a minute. Looks very, similar to Rec Rap in a way. This is the beginning of this character. This is a 40-page book for $5.99. Kind of on the fence about this one, but at the same time, I did enjoy the backup story. It was kind of interesting, and I want to see why he's in the main universe and what kind of, impact that's going to have. And I'm a Good Mythical Morning fan, so I definitely know who Jordan is, and I want to see what he can do with this character. So that's why Web of Venom comes in at number 7. Coming in at number 6 is G.I. Joe Real American Hero Silent Missions Crimson Guard issue number 1. This week we had the Baroness one, which was with art by Joelle Jones. It was absolutely gorgeous, and it was a really cool story. It was obviously completely silent, but you totally got the vibe. Cobra Commander was kind of ranking his operatives and kind of watching them on their missions, and we had this battle between Destro and Baroness, which was really fun to watch. I really like that one. And this one is written and illustrated by Gabriel Hardman, who has done Harley Quinn, Green Lantern, etc. Fantastic art. This is obviously celebrating that classic silent issue of issue 21 of the original G.I. Joe Real American Hero run, but this one is focused on the Crimson Guard, and with Hardman's art and the Crimson Guard, which are the elite soldiers of Tomax and Zamoth, the Crimson Twins. I think this could be another really fun one to look at, just to visualize and see the mission. So I'm excited about this one, and that's why G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, Silent Missions, Crimson Guard, issue 1 comes in at number 6. That was a mouthful. All right, top 5. Coming in at number 5 from Mad Cave. Mad Cave making a lot of appearances on this week's show. Flash Gordon issue number 0. This is basically relaunching, or this issue is kind of launching a new direction for the book, as Jeremy Adams has stepped away from the book and Dan Abnett is taking over writing chores with this issue and going forward. So this is a brand new, story. This is a brand new creative team coming onto this. 32 pages, $4.99. It says Flash Gordon has always been a maverick on the football field and in the stars, but when he's offered a job training the next generation of explorers, he'll end up fighting for Top Gun. So he's kind of training recruits, and he's found himself competing. Now he's got, in this new arc, this new direction, we've got a new supporting cast, we've got new enemies and allies. So we're kind of stepping away from what the previous 14 issues had and stepping into new territory. So that's exciting, and I'm curious to see, because I kind of fell off of it a little bit. I thought it started really strong, but it kind of tapered off. Felt like that story with Ming kind of went on a little bit too long. But yeah, so we'll see what they have to God, if I can talk. We'll see what they have in store for the next run of this series. Art by Manuel Garcia, by the way. But that's why Flash Gordon issue number 0 comes in at number 5. Coming in at number 4 from Ignition Press is Everyone Loves a Jewel Thief, issue number 1. This is written by Tim Seeley and Aaron Campbell, with art by Aaron Campbell. And it says, what's a struggling writer to do except pull off a jewel heist? This novelist hasn't written anything in years, so I guess to inspire their writing, they've decided they're going to actually, pull off this heist. And it says it's got a masterfully scripted spectacle to dazzle the masses without doing any real harm. A local celebrity will be robbed of her prized possessions, and Scott will come out on the other end as an anti-hero, showered with publicity and a new lucrative book deal. But he can't do it alone. He's got top recruits, his old high school D&D group, and their ragtag townie friends coming in clutch with the getaway Geostorm. That's hilarious. So it says, grab a D20 and roll for stealth in this new heist-tacular adventure from Tim Seeley and Aaron Campbell, because everyone loves a Jewel Thief. That sounds like a fantastic concept to me. That sounds like a fun time. And Ignition Press, from what I understand, has been killing it. I've only read a couple of books from them so far. I know Kat and Mike from Comic Book Weekly have been telling me I'm going to love Just Brutal. I love Dennis Hopeless, so I want to check that one out, and Murder Podcast. I have read Deluge, however you say that word. But this is another one that I'm actually really curious about, and hopefully I can get my hands on it. We'll see. But that's why Everyone Loves a Jewel Thief comes in at number 4. Coming in at number 3 from Dynamite Entertainment is Thundercats X Silverhawks issue number 1. Now, I am way behind on my Thundercats reading, and I don't read Silverhawks, but I did read the preview leading up to this, and I read the most recent issue of Thundercats to kind of prepare me for what's going on. And I kind of picked up the pieces as to where things have gone from the point I left off. And I did read the first couple of issues of Silverhawks. I just didn't care for it as much. But this crossover sounds pretty interesting to me, especially after reading that preview book. So yeah, I'm definitely going to try out the first issue of this one. It says Panthro originally set out on this mission to put a new satellite over Third Earth, which we've just learned is New Thundera. But now it's being mysteriously deserted. It's as soon as he's boarded this mysteriously deserted space station, this reckoning is at hand, and the Silverhawks' newest member, Chromium, comes into play and defies Stargazer's orders and goes out to investigate. Then obviously it's one of those kind of things where hero meets hero and they battle, and now we got to see what's going on. But also it's in the future a little bit, and the Silverhawks have changed a little bit. There's kind of a different dynamic between them. So it's going to be interesting. This is a 40-page book for $5.99, written and illustrated by Declan Shalvey. But if you're a fan of either of these franchises, you should check it out. And I'm going to as well. So that's why Thundercats X Silverhawks comes in at number 3. Coming in at number 2 from Boom Studios is Neighborhood Watch issue number 1. This is by Sarah Gailey and Haining. And this is Sarah Gailey is a Hugo Award-winning writer, and Haining is a fan favorite artist. I'm not super familiar with them, but the cover of this book caught my attention. Some people in the comments are asking if this is going to be the next York or whatever, the latest spec book of the week or whatever, that this trend has become. But anyway, this says it's a mind-bending thriller, which already pulls me in. The art has pulled me in as well, so that's two things for it. It says Jill Hewitt, community leader and wife of a respected police officer, is turned up with a gunshot wound in a tunnel connecting the Will Haven gated community with the neighboring Open Arms Collective. Now the VP of the HOA and the kitchen steward of the collective has stumbled upon her body at the exact same time, instantly casting blame across the divide. I love those kind of stories. You have all kinds of suspects that are plausible, and you have to kind of watch the story unfold to figure out where the pieces lie and how each one of these suspects is connected to it in a different way. I love those kind of stories. My wife and I are actually watching His and Hers with oh god, what is his name? Punisher. Shane from Walking Dead. I can't think of his name. Why can't I think of his name? Anyway, him and Tessa Thompson in this Netflix series, and it's kind of like that. They're both present in that kind of thing, and you got to figure out, who else was there, and who's got motive, and all that kind of stuff. I love those kind of stories, and that's why this pulls me in. So I'm definitely excited about this one. I'm going to try it out. 32 pages, $4.99 from Boom Studios, and that's why Neighborhood Watch comes in at number 2. But what could beat it? Coming in at number 1 from DC Comics, The Fury of Firestorm, issue number 1, brand new series, written by Jeff Lemire, with art by Rafael De La Torre, who did The Penguin. And this is the latest next level book. And I've been excited about this one because it's been a while since we've had a Firestorm book. Firestorm is the first ever DC character that I ever read. I've told this story before. When I was 6 or 7, we used to go on family camping trips every summer, my aunts, uncles, cousins, etc. And the first night we got there, my cousin and I it was pouring rain, so we couldn't put up the tents or anything. So my cousin and I slept in the back of a pickup truck that had a camper top over it. And our moms, which, is my mom and his mom is the one that passed away last week. So it's, a fond memory. Anyway, they went to the corner convenience store and got us a couple of 3-packs of comics. And the first one had an issue of Firestorm, an issue of Iron Man, and an issue of Archie. And it was the first time I had read comics at all, ever. So we thought Archie was Archie Bunker from All in the Family. It was kind of funny. And obviously we knew a little bit about the Marvel characters, so we kind of knew who Iron Man was. It was the Wrecking Crew versus Iron Man and Spider-Woman, which was Carpenter at the time. And the Firestorm issue was, the classic Firestorm with the professor in his head and everything. And so that was my introduction to DC Comics, which was kind of crazy. I mean, obviously I'd known of Batman and Superman and that kind of thing. But anyway, I have a fond memory and a fondness for Firestorm as a character. We haven't had him in a while, and Jeff Lemire is writing him, so not much else to say here. We will say it's taking place in Colorado, a sleepy town in Colorado, and called Bedford. It's, one of those where your neighbors say hi to you and everything, but now it's turned upside down because Firestorm has arrived and he's experimenting because he can transmute, things into different elements and all that kind of stuff, right? He's turned buildings to sand and people to glass with no remorse or no warning. What the heck? So what's provoked Ronnie Raymond to do this, and can anyone contain him? So I'm very excited about this one. Absolutely the most anticipated this week, and that's why The Fury of Firestorm issue 1 comes in at number 1. And there you have it. That is our top 10 this week. That is the show. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for all the kind words and support during my impromptu hiatus. I appreciate it. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help the channel. And of course, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe and notification bell so you don't miss any of the content going up on the channel. Of course, you can follow me across social media at Only Good Comics, or type in onlygoodcomics.com to take you right back to this YouTube channel where we talk about only good comics. Until next time, thanks for watching. Take care. Keep reading those comics, and I'll see you soon.